I had a request this week and I thought it was such a great idea that I just wanted to film this, but it's how to prevent cakey makeup. And I think that is such an important topic. And I don't know if I've ever made a video on it. I feel like there are things that I've learned as a master esthetician and a makeup artist for over 20 years that I just do instinctively and naturally, and I don't even really talk it through on the video. So this video, I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to show you all the steps from A to Z on how to prevent cakey makeup and how to make sure that you have a professional application that's going to last you, no matter your skin type, no matter your age, all day long. So let's get into it. Let me show you how to create a beautiful, flawless makeup application that's not going to be cakey and show texture. Let's get going. The first thing that we need to make sure is that you are taking care of your skin. So skincare is so important before you apply your makeup. Now, there is a saying from many professional makeup artists that your makeup can only be as good as your skincare. So if you are going right into makeup without prepping your skin, it's never going to look how it should. It's never going to have that beautiful, airbrushed, flawless, beautiful look. Whether you're going for a dewy look or you're going for a matte look, you have to have your skincare. So as you can see, what I started with is Soothing Priming Milk. This is from Point of View. I recommend going in and using what your skin needs. So this is a serum. This is just my process, what I do. Now, if you have dry skin, you can follow my process. I always do a toner. I recommend a toner for any skin type, just to reset your pH balance. And then if you have dry skin, serums like what I'm applying right now, a serum is going to just keep your skin hydrated and not suck in all of that makeup. So you really just want to make sure that you give your skin enough hydration. Even if you live in a humid place, take care of your skin and make sure that it's well hydrated. Some ingredients that I recommend everyone avoid are any fragrance, any harsh chemicals, anything that has parabens or sulfates. Now I can't open that. Where's my towel? Oh, there it is. Okay. A good moisturizer is key. Open. I really love this whipped one. You're seeing me use this most recently because I just really love this, but it's a whipped moisturizer and you're going to see how my skin just gets really glowy really fast. Also, pay attention to how much I'm applying. I like this one because, again, it doesn't have any fragrance or harsh chemicals. I can go right up under my eye. You always want to use an eye cream. I highly recommend JLo Beauty's eye cream. I like this one because I feel like it isn't too heavy and it really absorbs well into my skin. Now, if you have oily skin and you're seeing all these products that I'm putting on my face and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I could never wear that much skincare, you have to understand that as you wear this much skincare, your skin is going to slow down the production of oil. So you actually might not be using enough hydration. If you feel like your skin is getting really oily at the end of the day, you have to balance that out. So using skincare that's really adequately moisturizing and hydrating your skin is actually going to make your skin work a lot less in producing oil. So don't be scared away from great skincare. Now that I have my skincare on, the next thing that I want to talk about is using a primer. So this is so important and you will always see me use a primer before I go in with any kind of makeup, because the way you want to think about this, if you think about an orange and you think about the peel and you think about how you can see all the little pores on the orange, well, what you're doing with a primer is basically creating this smooth canvas. It's like perfecting all of that texture, and you want to do that before you go in with your makeup, because if you just go right on with your foundation or your concealer, you're going to see all that texture and all those pores. Now, skin is normal, texture is normal. Any kind of imperfections, scars, acne, pimples, this is fine, and I want you to understand that in real life, without the filters, without social media, skin texture is completely normal and it's fine. And that's not the goal, to change your entire face and cover it with so much makeup. The point that I'm making is that you can kind of reduce the texture and make your makeup just sit really well for the entire day. I'm going to use Huda Beauty's Easy Blur Primer as an example today because I really love this primer so much. And it actually has some skincare in it as well. Now you will see YouTubers and different people online using so much of this primer. This is how much I use in real life. And even though I'm making this video for you on YouTube, you will notice that when I apply my makeup, I try to apply the amount that I'm using in real life. So you will never see me exaggerate the amount of product just for the video. Now, when it comes to selecting a primer, you want to make sure that you are matching the primer with your foundation. And the reason why is because some primers are going to be water-based, some are going to have oil, some are going to be silicone-based, and your foundation won't match with that. So you can't use an oil-based foundation with silicone. They have to match. You have to make sure that the chemistry works or it's just not going to sit well. It's like mixing water with oil. So of course I'm going in with Huda Beauty's Easy Blur just to show you. The next tip that is very important when you are selecting your foundation, depending on your skin type, you really have to select that foundation for your skin type. So it is not about trends. It is not about what foundation everyone is showing you or telling you to buy. You really have to know your skin type. So if you have oily skin, you want to look for something that's a matte foundation or long wear or full coverage. These are going to work really well with oily skin. Now, if you have dry skin or more mature skin, you want to look for the words luminous, hydrating, moisturizing. These are going to be really great for your skin. For my skin type and for my age, I actually really like the Easy Blur foundation. I feel like it works really well. I was skeptical. I've tried many different Huda Beauty foundations and this one has become my favorite. I really like this one. And I do wonder if it's because it has that 1.5 niacinamide. I'm going to show you how much I use of this. This brings me to my next point. The amount of makeup that you are applying is really vital when it comes to having non-cakey, smooth makeup. You never want to apply too much. I often see YouTubers applying way too much makeup. There's only so much that your skin can take before it just looks like so heavy and thick. So the goal is to have enough that you can still kind of see through the foundation and see onto your skin. Another important professional tip is how you apply your foundation. So if you have followed me for years and years, I have always used a foundation brush. I just think that it works the best. It's quick. I think it's hygienic. And I really like how it spreads the foundation quickly before it sets into place. When it comes to the amount of makeup, if you are trying to cover blemishes, do not think about covering your entire face. I would spot treat, so apply a little bit of foundation and then go back over with a concealer brush and you can put a little bit of foundation concentrated on just that area or that blemish that you're trying to cover rather than putting so much on your face. So start with a light layer and then you can go back in and you can use foundation or concealer to touch up or cover a certain blemish or area that you're trying to get more coverage for. The next important tip is layering. So layering is very important in how you are applying your makeup. How you want to think about this is you are going to apply everything that's liquid before you get into any powders. Now your powders are going to be any dry powder blushes, bronzers, setting powders, etc. So what you want to do is think about all of the liquid products that you need to get on your face. So we have primer, you have foundation, you have concealer, you might have a liquid blush, you might have a liquid contour, you have your concealer. So all of those things need to go on before any of your powder products. So as you can see, I have my foundation on. I'm going to apply my liquid blush before any of my setting powder or bronzer. I'm gonna mix a few little colors here. This is a separate Kabuki. This one's dedicated just for my blush. And now I'm going to go in with a little bit of concealer. Again, pay attention to how much I'm applying. You're not seeing a ton of makeup going on because really you want to just have enough to give you a natural look with an enhanced, perfected version of your own skin. Now taking a mini Kabuki brush, I'm going to blend that in. And after I put on the concealer, I like to take my foundation brush and just blend everything in. One final blend of all of the liquid really marries everything together, and it also picks up any excess makeup that I might have on. Now, the next important step that I see trending for so many years, and this is so important because I really do love Huda Beauty's setting powder. This is the Easy Bake. I absolutely love this powder, but I have seen so many people use this incorrectly, and this could be the reason why your makeup is looking cakey, it's looking too heavy, or it just does not look that way that you see it on other people. You're using too much. I know it looks like so much fun when you see Huda take a huge amount of powder and just kind of cake this on, but in real life, that is not going to work under the eye area, and especially for maturing skin. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when you use the proper amount of powder. As you can see, I absolutely love using the Cherry Blossom, which is a light pink, for my under eye area. Now, the proper way to do this is to take a little bit on your puff, put it on the back of your hand, and this way you're not going to get too much under the eye. And you gently just press this on. You can already see how that has minimized the texture. That's going to lock that concealer in place all day, and it's going to prevent from any movement that you have for the under eye concealer. Now for the rest of my face, I'm going to use Pound Cake, which is also an Easy Bake setting powder by Huda. I also really love Laura Mercier's Translucent. So if you're someone that would like to do a translucent, I absolutely love that one as well. I'm going to do the same thing here. This is just going to set the rest of my face. I am not putting on too much. I'm just setting everything, locking it in. And I'm someone that has dry skin. So even though I have dry skin, I am still locking in my makeup with the setting powder. Now for bronzer, I'm going to use a little bit from this Huda palette and just put here on my cheeks. This is another mistake that I see when we head into summer and everyone wants to look super glowy and tan, and they pound on layers and layers of bronzer. Maybe that looks great in camera and film, but in real life, you can really see how much bronzer someone has on. So you really just need to have a light hand. You need to have a larger brush. This is a powder brush from Mint Pear. That is going to make the difference for you when you are applying bronzer, where you just want to have that glow, but you don't want to look like, I'm gonna say it, but you don't want to look like Jersey Shore circa 2000. Was it 2006? Let's not go there. Let's just keep it glowy and natural. You are not fooling anyone. There's another tip that I want to make, because this does have a highlighter here. Now, highlighter is beautiful. I love this invention of highlighting the cheekbone and the brow bone and even down the nose. You'll see me do this often. The point I want to make is that if you have any skin texture, so if you have crow's feet, if you have blemishes, if you have wrinkles or any scarring on those areas that you are going to put highlighter on, you are only going to attract the light to that area, which is going to make those blemishes show and appear even more. So if you are someone that is struggling with any texture in those areas, avoid highlighter. Highlighter is not going to be your friend. There's also something that I forgot to mention, but before you even go in with your skincare, something that I learned from my mother so long ago, and she was also a makeup artist and a beautician, is you can easily make your skin very smooth by just keeping a stack of small washcloths with you when you get into the shower. A washcloth is a great way for you to exfoliate. You don't want to do it with super hot water, so lukewarm water, and it needs to be one of the fine, not so rough washcloths. But you basically just put that over your fingers, and you will just do gentle little circles with a washcloth, and you go straight across on your forehead, and that is going to remove any dead skin. Don't overdo it. Don't do it every single day, but you could just do it maybe like 3 times a week, and that is going to remove and slough off any dead skin. So if you don't want to go spend a ton of money on an exfoliator is great to have on hand, of course, to use 3 to 4 times a week, but you can use a washcloth to really get your skin to that smooth, beautiful, think of it as like an onion. You're taking off those dead layers of skin. So that's going to help before your skincare. I just recently filmed a really wonderful tutorial on how to minimize your pores and how to improve the texture of your skin. So I will put that one right here for you and link that if you want to hop over to that one. But that one is going to go into more depth on skincare and treating your skin and preventing large pores. So this will help you if you're dealing with any of that kind of texture. Another misconception that I have heard and I've been asked about a lot is there's this theory that if you spend a ton of money on your makeup, that it's going to make your makeup look even better. Trust me, I have used every single brand of foundation, bronzer, blush, concealer, powders. I have tried it all, and I can tell you that it is about the application, it's about the amount, it's about the skin prep. You can have makeup from drugstore quality. You see me use Milani, you see me use Pixie, I'm using that right here. There are so many brands that you can use that will still give you a beautiful finished look, polished, clean look that is absolutely stunning. So it does not matter if you're spending luxurious amounts of money on makeup. It is about the skill. So that is something that you can master. It's not about your budget. Also, when it comes to the brands that I recommend, over the last few years, I've had to make many shifts on the brands that I personally use. So I've had many favorites within Lancome, Dior, Armani, all of these brands that I don't use anymore. And so what I'm recommending are the comparisons of what I have personally found that work just as well, but they're brands that I support and stand behind. So you are going to see me recommend brands to you that I personally align with, and that I also align with the quality, because I've tried everything, and trust me, it was a challenge to let go of some of my favorite brands, but I have slowly over the last couple years found even better products that I feel better about using. So I'm happy about that. I think it's important that you know anything I recommend to you is going to be on Rita's approved list. Another tip that you wouldn't really think about, but when it comes to lipstick or lip products, for me personally, I tried for so long to use the long wear, kind of color stay, matte look, and for dry skin, it just didn't work, and it did look cakey on my lips. Now, I have found different ways to work around that, so if you really love those looks, Stila was a brand I used to use all the time, and I just love how it looks. I love the colors. So what I found is if I use less and I blend that in with my finger, and then I just keep a gloss on that throughout the day, like I can just not do matte lipstick, and I've accepted that. But also something like this is from Charlotte Tilbury. It has a little bit of a sheen, so it's hydrating and it's moisturizing. So if you're like me and you have really wanted to make matte lipsticks work, but you just can't, the best trick that I have found is that you can pop a little bit of like a chapstick over that matte look, or just a gloss, because you need to keep that hydration, and that's going to help keep your lips look juicy and hydrated and not cakey throughout the day. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I mean, I went through A to Z, but if there was anything that I missed or that you have more questions about, just leave a comment below, because I'm always here and happy to help. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. This was a lot of fun for me. I feel like there's a lot of knowledge that I was wanting to like give to you, so hopefully it wasn't too much. But if you do try any of these, or there was anything that was really helpful specifically, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear that. And I would also love it if you do try all of these, come back and let me know how it works for you. Thank you for making it to the end of this video, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Leave a comment for me and I would love to say hello. Take care.